أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون. قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون. فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون. إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون. هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون. لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون. سلام قولا من رب رحيم. وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق الإنسان.
आप देख रहे हैं आपकी आवाज़ विद वसीम राठौर सिर्फ वोक टीवी पर, जिसमें हम डिस्कस करेंगे आलमी बदलती सियासत और हमारे इर्द गिर्द रोनुमा होने वाले वो वाक़यात जो बराह रास्त हमारी ज़िंदगियों पर अक्सर अंदाज होते हैं। क्या आप इन बदलती सियासत और बदलते हालात में ख़ुद को इतना तैयार कर सकते हैं कि अपना और इर्द गिर्द लोगों का ख्याल रख सके? आपकी आवाज़ हमारे लिए मायने रखती है। हम जानेंगे आपकी राय, इसमें हम आप लोगों की राय लेंगे और जानेंगे कि आप खुद को कितना तैयार समझते हैं। देखते रहिए हमारा प्रोग्राम आपकी आवाज़ सिर्फ और सिर्फ वोक टीवी पर।
अल्लाहु 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 अल्लाह।
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Mahmood here, and I'd like to invite you to our very special new initiative, WhatsApp Madrasa Group. On this platform, we have all Islamic lessons for all ages and all abilities. And all of this is taught in a very fun and interactive way. Take our superhero course, for example. In 90 seconds, your child, inshallah, will learn how to read, write, and memorize Arabic words. And we haven't missed anyone. It's never too late to learn. Have you always had the desire to memorize the Quran maybe, or just learn a few surahs? Subhanallah, we will be able to assist you. Just by joining our WhatsApp Madrasa group, you will get short lessons and more detailed lessons for those people who want to learn. And it's never too late to learn. If you've always had the desire to memorize the Quran, or maybe just a portion of the Quran, or you just want to polish up your basics, or just start from scratch, well, joining WhatsApp Madrasa, we will cater for all of your needs. So please do join, text join to the Madrasa, the number which is on your screen, and inshallah we will get back to you very soon. Jazakumullah khair wa ahsanul jaza. Assalamu alaikum.
Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah. Mahe Ramzan यूं आ गया, बनके रहमत ये फिर छा गया. कैसे तुझसे करूं सामना, गिर रहा हूँ जरा थामना.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Mahmoud here, and I'd like to invite you to our very special new initiative, WhatsApp Madrasa Group. On this platform, we have all Islamic lessons for all ages and all abilities. And all of this is taught in a very fun and interactive way. Take our superhero course, for example. In 90 seconds, your child, inshallah, will learn how to read, write, and memorize Arabic words. And we haven't missed anyone. It's never too late to learn. Have you always had the desire to memorize the Quran maybe? Or just learn a few surahs? Subhanallah, we will be able to assist you. Just by joining our WhatsApp Madrasa group, you will get short lessons and more detailed lessons for those people who want to learn. And it's never too late to learn. If you've always had the desire to memorize the Quran, or maybe just a portion of the Quran, or you just want to polish up your basics, or just start from scratch, well, joining WhatsApp Madrasa, we will cater for all of your needs. So please do join, text join to the Madrasa, the number which is on your screen, and inshallah we will get back to you very soon. Jazakumullah khair wa ahsanul jaza. Assalamu alaikum.
Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah.
Oh, hi guys, you caught me doing my warm-up there, you're a bit early. Welcome to Akil's Gym, I'm Coach Akil, and I'm working with Vuk TV, and we're delivering an exercise program for you guys. The whole purpose behind this is to help you develop a healthy mind, body and soul. Everything works together. So twice a week on this channel, we're going to be doing exercises that you can easily do at home. Simple and fun. You don't need to go to the gym, you can do it at home. You'll be fitter, stronger, healthier, and you'll have a lot more energy. We'll also be talking about everything to do with health and mental well-being. So I'm looking forward to being here and serving you twice a week. I hope that you guys will join me.
Hello and welcome to Vuk TV. This is Evelyn Akil. Please join me on my weekly Arabic show, Eve's Voice, where we will discuss the issues and concerns of contemporary women and everything related to her family, social and professional life. We will also host specialists in these fields to provide the advice that women need. In addition to presenting real success stories that have made positive changes in their lives. That's Evelyn Akil on Vuk TV, Eve's Voice.
Welcome ladies and gentlemen, this is your host Norman Rashid Khan on your favourite online web channel, Voice of UK TV, also known as Vuk TV. And yes, by public demand, I have been requested to do my own show, and it's going to be called Voice on the Street.
A, is this a trick question?
It's a simple question.
Say that again slowly.
A,
Where basically we'll be out there in the public taking your views.
aware of the coronavirus?
Yes,
There's an International Women's March in Pakistan at the moment. Have you heard about it?
I haven't, no. Educate me.
Okay, brilliant.
On the issues that matter to you, that's exclusively on Vuk TV with your own host Norman Rashid Khan on the issues that matter to you.
माह रमजान यूं आ गया, बन के रहमत ये फिर छा गया, कैसे तुझसे करूं सामना, गिर रहा हूँ जरा थामना।
आप देख रहे हैं आपकी आवाज़ विद वसीम राठौर सिर्फ वोक टीवी पर, जिसमें हम डिस्कस करेंगे आलमी बदलती सियासत और हमारे इर्द गिर्द रोनुमा होने वाले वो वाक़यात जो बराह रास्त हमारी ज़िंदगियों पर असर अंदाज होते हैं। क्या आप इन बदलती सियासत और बदलते हालात में ख़ुद को इतना तैयार कर सकते हैं कि अपना और इर्द गिर्द लोगों का ख्याल रख सके? आपकी आवाज़ हमारे लिए मायने रखती है। हम जानेंगे आपकी राय, इसमें हम आप लोगों की राय लेंगे और जानेंगे कि आप खुद को कितना तैयार समझते हैं। देखते रहिए हमारा प्रोग्राम आपकी आवाज़ सिर्फ और सिर्फ वोक टीवी पर।
अल्लाहु 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 अल्लाह।
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Mahmood here, and I'd like to invite you to our very special new initiative, WhatsApp Madrasa Group. On this platform, we have all Islamic lessons for all ages and all abilities. And all of this is taught in a very fun and interactive way. Take our superhero course, for example. In 90 seconds, your child, inshallah, will learn how to read, write, and memorize Arabic words. And we haven't missed anyone. It's never too late to learn. Have you always had the desire to memorize the Quran maybe, or just learn a few surahs? Subhanallah, we will be able to assist you. Just by joining our WhatsApp Madrasa group, you will get short lessons and more detailed lessons for those people who want to learn. And it's never too late to learn. If you've always had the desire to memorize the Quran, or maybe just a portion of the Quran, or you just want to polish up your basics, or just start from scratch, well, joining WhatsApp Madrasa, we will cater for all of your needs. So please do join, text join to the Madrasa, the number which is on your screen, and inshallah we will get back to you very soon. Jazakumullah khair wa ahsanul jaza. Assalamu alaikum.
Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah। माहे रमजान यूं आ गया, बन के रहमत ये फिर छा गया, कैसे तुझसे करूं सामना, गिर रहा हूँ जरा थामना।
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। शहरु रमज़ान अल्लज़ी उन्ज़िल फ़ीहिल
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين والفريقين من عرب ومن عجم ثم الرضا عن أبي بكر وعن عمر وعن علي وعن عثمان ذي الكرم يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ومولانا محمد طب القلوب ودوائها وعافية الأبدان وشفائها ونور الأبصار وضيائها وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. Most honorable brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're watching Voice of UK's Darse Quran. I'm your host, Muhammad Naveed Ashrafi, inshallah ta'ala. Today I will be discussing with yourselves, covering selected verses from Surah Al-Zumar, Surah Al-Mu'min, and Surah Hamim Sajda. Surah Zumar was revealed in Makkah al-Mukarramah at a time when the adversary of the Meccans, the kuffar of Makkah, it shifted from verbal accusations and harassment to personal torture, persecution and anguish and social bans against the Muslims. And this was some time before the migration to Abyssinia took place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says to His beloved Habib sallallahu alayhi wasallam in one of the verses of Surah Al-Zumar, قُلْ, O beloved, declare, يَا عِبَادِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. Which means, say, O my slaves, those people who have believed, fear your Lord. اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ. Meaning belief is not sufficient. After belief you must have fear of your Lord, fear of His disobedience, fear of earning His displeasure. Those who do good in this world, for them is good. لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. And the ard of Allah, the earth of Allah, it is vast. The earth of God is vast. So ultimately the entire Zameen, even though it may have occupation, the ard, by the kuffar and mushrikeen and the Zionists, however, it belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one has real ownership. They have occupation, but ownership is to Allah. And elsewhere in the Quran al-Majid, Allah says that He has made His servants, the righteous servants, the inheritors of the earth. أَنَّ الْأَرْضَ يَرِثُهَا عِبَادِيَ الصَّالِحُونَ. That those of my servants who are salihun, who are salih, who are upright, who are God-fearing, they are the inheritors of the earth. So those who do good in this world, for them is good, and the earth of God is vast. إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Allah only gives the full measure of reward to those who are the sabirun, without any measure, meaning without any account, without any restriction. So the believers are instructed not to lose heart and to despair. As despairing, it does not fit. It is not befitting for a believer to despair. Elsewhere in the Quran we have learned in Surah Yusuf that إِنَّهُ لَا يَيْأَسُ مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ إِلَّا الْقَوْمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Despairing is for the kuffar, for the nation who are the infidels. Despairing is for them. Muslims should never despair. And Allah Azza wa Jal, throughout the Quran al-Majid, on numerous occasions, multiple occasions, He reminds the believers that your God, your Allah, your Ilah, your Rabb, He is Al-Ghafur Ar-Rahim, the oft forgiving, the most merciful. So it is difficult for them to practice their belief and religion in one place. So what can you do? You can migrate. So they have been given permission to migrate to another place. So this chapter, it compares the believers with those who ascribe partners with God. The truth of Tawheed and the results of uttering the words and declaring the words of Tawheed verbally and accepting it with the heart. That its fruits are mentioned, and the falsehood of associating partners with God and the evil consequences of this ultimate crime of associating partners with God, which is shirk. Its consequences are mentioned in this surah and explained. And the people are urged to give up their wrong way of life. The wrong way of life meaning in associating partners with God, in disobedience to Allah, and to return to the mercy of their Lord. As in another verse, Allah Azza wa Jalla says that, "Qul, O beloved, declare, Ya ibadiy alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim, those of my servants." So the Mufassirun have said that here, Yaqulullahu is mahzuf. Yaqulullahu is mahzuf, meaning it is hidden in the kalam. That, O beloved, declare, Allah says, Ya ibadi, O my servants. Asrafu, alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim, the ones who have done israf, who have wronged themselves. La taqnatu min rahmatillah, do not despair from the mercy of Allah. Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a, innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. And surely Allah, He will forgive all of the sins. Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a, innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. And surely Allah is the one who is the oft forgiving, and He is the merciful. Now, the reason behind the revelation of this verse is that some of the polytheists, they asked a question to the Holy Prophet ﷺ, that although your religion is correct, as such, if we were to accept Islam, will our sins that we have committed be forgiven during the period of infidelity? What about those sins? So once we've accepted Islam, what about the past sins that we have done? You claim that your religion is correct and Allah is merciful. In response to this verse was revealed. And Hazrat Vahshi was previously the murderer of Sayyidina Amir Hamza, the uncle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He sent a message to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that if I was to accept Islam, will my sins be forgiven? At that point in time, this verse was revealed, meaning that the sins that are done by the kuffar prior to entering Islam, prior to being a Muslim, all those sins are forgiven. Even the sin of kufr, shirk, murder, whatever sins have been done. This is how vast the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, how extensive it is. It has no limits or boundaries. The mercy is limitless of Allah Azza wa Jal. So, if they would, of course, accept Islam, as asrafu ala anfusihim, it covers all sins. And here, ya ibadi, those people are being referred to here, who are the Muslims. Meaning that once the kuffar come into Islam, then they are no longer kafirs, they are Muslims. They are no longer infidels or non-believers, they are Muslims. So yes, their previous sins are forgiven. As far as Muslims are concerned, then a person who remains in the state of kufr or shirk, then they are not being addressed here. They are not being addressed here because Allah Azza wa Jalla has mentioned elsewhere in the Quran, Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha. That surely Allah Azza wa Jalla, He will not forgive those who have done shirk, who have associated partners with Him. And He will forgive all others besides them, whomsoever He wishes. وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. Because this is the ultimate sin, kufr and shirk. When shirk is mentioned, it also includes shirk, because both kufr and shirk have one thing in common, and that is infidelity. So those people are not being addressed here. The second meaning is that here Ya Ibadi means the ghulam, the servants of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So Allah is saying to His beloved Habib that say, "O my servants," meaning my abd, not my creation, but my khadim, my khadims. Khadims means servants, and this is a correct analogy and interpretation. Why? Because in the Quran al-Majid, the word ibad has been used for servants. Min ibadikum wa imaikum, from amongst your male servants and from amongst your female servants, wa imaikum. Also, it is correct to name children such as the name Abdul Nabi, Abdul Rasul, etc. It is written that this is correct because you mean the servant of the Prophet, meaning khadim. Okay, but we are the slaves, meaning we don't. This does not in any way refer to meaning the creation of the Prophet, because no one is a creation of a Prophet. We are the servants of the Prophet, but we are the creation of Allah. So when ibad is used and connected with Allah, it means creation of God and servant in that perspective. But when it is attributed or ascribed to the Prophet, then it means servant. Okay, khadim. So both are correct, because the Sahaba Kiram, they would say with reference to themselves that kuntu ana abduhu wa khadimuhu, I was his khadim, I was his servant and assistant. So la taqnatu, meaning do not despair from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Elsewhere in the Quran al-Majid it is mentioned, nabbi ibadi anni anal ghafurur rahim, inform, give the news to my servants that I am the oft forgiving, the most merciful. So we should never despair. As a Muslim, we should never despair from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and always have faith and trust in the mercy of Allah azza wa jal. But do not be courageous or bold over your sins. Abstain from sinning. Abstain from sinning, from the kabair, from the sagair, from the major and minor sins. Strive to abstain from sins. But at the same time, have profound conviction in the mercy, in the rahmat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will forgive all the sins that are connected to Allah, meaning in which we have been disobedient to Allah azza wa jal. Allah, as long as the doors of tawbah, of repentance are open, we should take advantage of them and continue to seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on a daily basis. But those sins which are connected to his other creation, the hukukul ibad, the rights and responsibilities that we have towards other fellow Muslims, to our parents, to our wife, to our children, and likewise that we have on a mutual basis, those mistakes that we have made towards them in fulfilling the duties, the rights and obligations that they have over us, until those individuals do not forgive us, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not forgive us. So we must strive to always fulfill these rights. Also, the warnings of the consequences of those people who will die upon kufr, what will happen to them. This has also been mentioned in the concluding verses of Surah Al-Zumar. And the infidels shall be driven towards hell in groups, which is the name of the surah. وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, and will be those people will be dragged who did kufr, who were infidels, who disbelieved, إِلَى جَهَنَّمَ زُمَرًا, in groups, حَتَّى إِذَا جَاءُوهَا فُتِحَتْ أَبْوَابُهَا, until when they shall reach it, its gates will be open. وَقَالَ لَهُمْ خَزَنَتُهَا, and the keeper will say, أَلَمْ يَأْتِكُمْ رُسُلٌ مِّنْكُمْ, did not come to you many messengers from amongst you, reciting verses of your Lord and warning you, يَتْلُونَ عَلَيْكُمْ آيَاتِ رَبِّكُمْ وَيُنذِرُونَكُمْ لِقَاءَ يَوْمِكُمْ هَذَا, about this meeting on this day. قَالُوا بَلَى, they will say, why not? but the words of punishment. وَلَكِنْ حَقَّتْ كَلِمَةُ الْعَذَابِ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. But the words of punishment would be justified on the infidels, meaning that they have brought this punishment on themselves because they failed to take heed from those messengers that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had sent to accept belief in the oneness of God, to accept belief in the Tawheed of Allah, in the nubuwwat of the prophets. They would warn them of the consequences of this day in which they are now being dragged to hell, but then it will be too little, too late. Stay with us, inshallah. I will join you after a very short break. Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu, 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 Allah.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Mahmood here, and I'd like to invite you to our very special new initiative, WhatsApp Madrasa Group. On this platform, we have all Islamic lessons for all ages and all abilities. And all of this is taught in a very fun and interactive way. Take our superhero course, for example. In 90 seconds, your child, inshallah, will learn how to read, write, and memorize Arabic words. And we haven't missed anyone. It's never too late to learn. Have you always had the desire to memorize the Quran maybe? Or just learn a few surahs? Subhanallah, we will be able to assist you. Just by joining our WhatsApp Madrasa group, you will get short lessons and more detailed lessons for those people who want to learn. And it's never too late to learn. If you've always had the desire to memorize the Quran, or maybe just a portion of the Quran, or you just want to polish up your basics, or just start from scratch, well, joining WhatsApp Madrasa, we will cater for all of your needs. So please do join. Text join to the madrasa, the number which is on your screen, and inshallah we will get back to you very soon. Jazakumullah khair wa ahsanul jaza. Assalamu alaikum.
Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Qur'an.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Respectable viewers and listeners, welcome back after the break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Surah Mu'min is another surah of the 24th juz. This surah reminds of the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His favors upon mankind. It also gives information from the story of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam and with the Fir'aun. Life-changing lessons about what the people of Makkah trying to do with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that same as the Pharaoh did to Musa alayhi salam. But despite his mighty powers, they utterly failed. Just as the Fir'aun failed, and although he had tremendous amount of power, the kuffar of Makkah also failed in front of Sayyiduna Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The story of a believer in the Pharaoh's court is narrated to explain that those who wanted to remain neutral in the battle of truth and falsehood should rise and perform their duty. It also gives a lesson that the factors that prevent people from raising their voice had also hindered the way of a Muslim. But he had full faith in God and trust in God and dismissed all the threats. And the Fir'aun was not able to harm him in any way. Allah Azza wa Jal says that أَوَلَمْ يَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَيَنْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ كَانُوا مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ كَانُوا هُمْ أَشَدَّ مِنْهُمْ قُوَّةً وَآثَارًا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَأَخَذَهُمُ اللَّهُ بِذُنُوبِهِمْ وَمَا كَانَ لَهُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ وَاقٍ. That have they not traveled through the land and observed how was the end of those nations before them? They were greater than them in strength. They were greater than them in strength and in impression on the land. However, Allah seized them for their sins. فَأَخَذَهُمُ اللَّهُ بِذُنُوبِهِمْ وَمَا كَانَ لَهُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ وَاقٍ. And they had no one as a protector from Allah. Meaning, Allah is able to send friends and protectors. If they are from Allah, they can be sent. But for these people, they had no protectors. And the awliya Allah, from whom Muslims turn to and seek help from, they have been empowered by Allah Azza wa Jal. They are not min dunillah, against Allah, but they are min Allah, and they connect you with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And many verses substantiate this from the Quran Majid itself, and this is known as wasila, such as وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيْهِ, and follow the path of the one who has turned towards me, and be with the truthful. كُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ. And فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ مَوْلَاهُ, then surely Allah is his helper or protector. وَجِبْرِيلُ, and Jibreel. وَصَالِحُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and the salih believers. And that is referring to that aspect of the verse is referring to the Sahaba Kiram Ridwanullahi Ta'ala alayhim ajma'een. So these verses have been mentioned regarding admonishing the non-believers that this is what would happen to them, as was the consequent of those people who were the followers of Fir'aun against Sayyiduna Musa alayhi salam. And Allah Azza wa Jal mentions the day of judgment, the fire, that annaru yu'raduna alayha, the fire, they are exposed to it morning and evening. yu'raduna alayha ghuduwan wa ashiya wa yawma taqumu as-sa'atu adkhilu ala fir'auna ashadd al-adhab. And when the hour shall be established, they will be instructed, adkhilu, admit the followers of Fir'aun in the most severe punishment. And with reference to the believers, Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying that call upon me, and even to the non-believers that call me as a God. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ مُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Make dua to me, call me and I will respond to you. أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. Surely those people who reject my worship, who are arrogant in worshipping me, very soon we shall enter them in the hellfire, which is contemptible. Surah Hamim Sajda is also revealed and is part of it is also a revelation of the Quran al-Majid, and it is part of the 24th Juz, a Meccan surah, and this was revealed almost in the 3rd or 5th year after the Prophet's sallallahu alaihi wasallam's proclamation of prophethood. And the main subject matter of this surah is invitation to the kuffar to accept the truth of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It also exemplifies and demonstrates that God's signs are everywhere and warns people against them. Allah Azza wa Jal, throughout the surah, on numerous occasions, stipulates his signs that he is the one who has created for you the night and the day, for you to take comfort in the night and for you to look around you and earn your livelihood during the day. And وَهُوَ خَلَقَكُمْ, he is the one who created you the first time, أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ, and towards him are you to return. وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تَسْتَطِيعُونَ, the Quran says, and how could you veil yourselves that your ears and your eyes and skins should bear witness against you? وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تَسْتَطِيعُونَ, you cannot conceal your sins from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing is hidden from him. يَعْلَمُ مَا تُخْفِي وَمَا تُعْلِنْ, he knows what you conceal and what you announce. And وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورِ, and what is hidden in the chests. And the Quranic verse, it says يَعْلَمُ خَائِنَةَ الْأَعْيُنِ وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورِ, he knows he is aware and knows of the one who secretly, who deceptively looks, thinking that others are not looking, and whatever is hidden in the hearts. لا يخفى على الله منهم شيء, there is nothing which is hidden to Allah. وكما قال الله تعالى, so he will say, how did you think that your skin, you would be able to conceal your sins from your own body? That your ears and the non-believers with the believers, that this is the loss, the ultimate loss, the greatest loss for a non-believer is the loss, is the everlasting loss, the eternal loss of the hereafter, wherein they shall remain losers forever in the hellfire. And the ultimate victory and triumph for the believer is paradise and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which we should all strive to seek. Jazakallahu khaira for watching. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us firm upon the pristine Islam, the true and unchanged Islam. And may we pass and leave and depart from this temporary and provisional world with Iman, with the kalima shahada on our tongues, and with the ziyarah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Until tomorrow's Darsul Quran Iftar transmission. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
बनके रहमत ये फिर छा गया, कैसे तुझसे करूं सामना, गिर रहा हूँ जरा थामना।
and welcome to VOOC TV. This is Dr. Rajala, your host of Medical Voice. Today I'm delighted to invite some very good looking and very intelligent doctors from across the world to discuss with us the COVID-19 pandemic. We have with us today Dr. Uzair Ali, who's a fresh medical graduate from the University of Cardiff. Hello Uzair and welcome to our show. And we also have Dr. Hamad Khan from across the world. Hamad Khan is a resident trainee in psychiatry and he's practicing at the University of California, Davis, and his subspecialty is psychosomatic psychiatry. Welcome to our show, Dr. Hamad.
Excited to be here.
Thank you. Right, so starting the show off, previously we discussed what COVID-19 was and how, and we used all the knowledge that we had at hand at that time. Obviously, as time has gone along, we've found out a lot more information with regards to COVID-19 and the way it's impacting the world. So a question for you, Dr. Uzair Ali, have we more information with regards to how the COVID-19 is presenting in terms of the signs and symptoms?
So in terms of COVID-19, especially within the United Kingdom, as the cases and the mortality rate increases, there obviously is going to be more information regarding, what the different symptoms are and how it presents. But the mainstream advice still given to us right now is what was given to us initially: the fever, the dry cough, the muscle aching, the flu-like symptoms. Not much has changed from progression of that. They're looking more into how a lot of patients have, the lack of taste or the lack of smell in their presenting symptoms. But in regards to any new sort of symptoms presenting in adults, no. Whereas in children, there are a few more symptoms that are coming to light. But I think we'll discuss that in a little while.
Of course, yes. Obviously, the majority of the patients that we know, they don't present with any symptoms, or they have very mild or next to nothing. Is that right? Okay.
So yeah, that's what we.
Sorry.
That's what we term the asymptomatic patient. So a lot of patients will have got the virus but won't be presenting with symptoms, and that's the dangerous ones because they can still pass it on to other people.
And in terms of, if we do a comparison, how badly has England been hit at the moment? So what are the statistics, if you could share with us?
So the current number of cases within the UK is over 240,000. And the number of deaths is increasing daily. I think it's surpassed over 34,000.
Goodness. And how does that compare to the rest of the world?
So if you compare it to within Europe, so its neighboring countries, so say Spain or Italy, then it's even surpassed them. Italy was called like the epicenter, so where the majority of cases within Europe were aggregated together. But it surpassed even that, showing the response and how it's affected life in the UK.
The next question that obviously comes to mind is why? We have such a great healthcare, we have such great scientists, medical professionals. Why has England been hit so badly?
It's difficult to say because we're still in the midst of it. Once it's over, when we fully analyze how it's going on, I think that we can say this is how we went wrong. But with the information that we do have currently, we can see that the UK initially, it went for a different approach to most of Europe. It went for the herd immunity approach. So that means that they wanted a lot of people to get affected so that they could become immune to it. However, after a few weeks, it took a complete U-turn, and I think on the 23rd of March, it announced that it wanted to go into lockdown. And it's been 8 weeks since, and we're still in that direction. So, and since that, there hasn't been the number of testing that is required. And if you compare it to other countries, then it's still, not at that level. We're not still getting enough testing done on a daily basis.
Okay. Now, comparing that to the States, Dr. Hamad, what are the statistics in America at the moment?
Definitely. I think it's similar to what Dr. Azair was describing in the United Kingdom. It's a very much of an evolving picture in the United States. From a day-to-day to a week-by-week basis, we're seeing our ability to test, our ability to track, our surveillance capabilities, very much dynamically changing. Right now, we would say about our total death rate in the United States is projected to be close to 150,000. Just a few
Goodness.
weeks ago, we had a national goal coming from our government to be below 100,000, and it seems like we're on our way to be much, much higher than that. Luckily, in some settings, such as New York City, which was our initial epicenter, we're beginning to see things slow down and headed in a more positive direction. But with the United States being such a large country, there's other pockets that are continuing to develop, and we remain at a very high daily death rate right now, well over 1,000.
And we often, in the layman's term, we often get taught about the pandemic curve. Is America on its way down? Is it about to plateau? Where are you at the moment?
I think it very much differs based on your locality. In certain localities, myself being in California, our peak was very much narrowed from very early on. We didn't have this high sort of peak that we were very worried about, where our hospitals wouldn't have capabilities, our ICUs would be overworked. And luckily, we were able to avoid that with social distancing and other different interventions that went in early on. On the other end, when we look at the East Coast and these larger cities like New York City, New Jersey, and that area, they unfortunately hit that peak. And it was very critical masses that reached the hospitals were overburdened. And now they're beginning to see that a little bit more of a plateau phase and turning downwards. That being said, as some of these political decisions in terms of social distancing, in terms of the different sort of safeguards we put in place, very interesting how the next few weeks go. I know many of us share some concern that if our ability to continue with social distancing and these interventions is limited in the coming weeks, we might see our curve turn back upward. That'd be a very unfortunate circumstance.
Obviously, the beauty of hindsight is that it always comes in handy for the future. If we could go back in time, the question I'll put to you, Dr. Azair, if we could go back in time and do things slightly differently, so if we could take time back to, say, end of February, what, in your opinion, do you think should have been done?
So I think the best way the way to tackle it is to get it from the start, from stopping the progression. One thing I believe that should have been done a lot earlier was testing at airports and a small travel ban, because flights were still incoming during the initial rise, and when we were still on the curve, as Dr. Hamad referred to, we were still going up, and a lot of people were still coming from there. And I think a lot of viruses and a lot of infections did start from there. And another one is, as a lot of people are saying currently as well, the number of testing, it still is so low. How are people who are asymptomatic, so who don't present with symptoms, supposed to know they're supposed to self-isolate if they didn't know, they had the disease?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I believe that earlier testing, earlier lockdown, easier communication between the government and the people, because there was still a lack of clarity at that point. And I don't think Corona was taken as serious as it is now. Whereas in other countries, they started everything, a lot sooner.
And obviously the same question now put forward to Dr. Hamad. If you could take time back, what could America have done better?
Definitely, and I think a critical part of that question is recognizing that even though there's a lot we could have done back a few months going backwards, there's also a lot to be done today. We still have a lot of COVID still ahead of us, although we've gone through the last few months that have felt like almost years in the way that they've kind of stretched out and how dramatic and how much has changed over the last few months. But we still have easily another 6 months, likely more than that, of us having to deal with COVID on a very regular basis. I think one of the places we could have intervened earlier and had a great impact would be thinking about places where most of our high-risk patients are at. So in the United States, we've seen lots of folks with COVID, and particularly those who are experiencing poor outcomes like fatalities, coming from nursing homes, because there's people with higher risk factors congregated in a smaller area. And now we're at a point where we develop some policies, we begin to have protocols and such to keep these folks safe. But if we're able to do so earlier on in the process, we could have saved a lot of lives.
Okay, so your advice is to adhere to the advice being given by the government with regards to self-isolation, social distancing, etc., etc. Is that right? Yeah.
Definitely. I think it's absolutely critical.
Yeah. Now, obviously, both of you are medical professionals, and on the news every day we hear about PPE, or the lack of PPE, which is the personal protective equipment. And what keeps being said is there's just not enough to protect our frontline workers. Uzair, you are a fresh graduate. What's been your experience with regards to this?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I've just recently graduated from Cardiff University, and in the UK there's been a new role which is called the interim foundation doctor, and that's basically doing whatever a foundation doctor does but on a bit of an earlier scale. And we got training in our PPE from the university and from the individual health boards, and when we went there it was adequate PPE. I know a lot's been said that there isn't a lot available, and I'm sure that's true, but from a personal experience, I can say it's been quite positive in terms of what has been available to myself, and it's been adequate. It's the accurate standard, and yeah, it's been
and
okay.
And personally, you haven't faced any lack of it, or you've not come across colleagues who are saying there's just not enough of it out there?
Well, I think the Welsh Health Board in particular was quite good with it. I do know colleagues of mine across England and in certain health boards which had to sort of question whether to actually partake in the interim F1 role because of the lack of PPE. So there are definitely certain countries, or certain deaneries that don't have it, and it's making them question their professionals as to whether they should help out in this situation right now.
Absolutely, that's right. Same question to you, Dr. Hamad. In your experience on the other side of the world in America, have you personally, or your friends or your colleagues, faced a lack of PPE?
Definitely. And I think even the term adequate PPE or a lack of PPE are so relative to our new realities now. Just a few months ago, most of us who had worn an N95 would never think about reusing one or putting one on for a second time and all these things. And now that's turned into our, very regular routine. I bring my N95 home, I save it, I might reuse it multiple times. I'm having to figure out whether I want to clean it with steam or with heat or these different methods that, frankly, I'm often learning on the internet. At the same time, we're still learning more about the disease and learning about, whether or not the different levels of precautions are necessary, and different countries have had different levels in terms of what they're probably comfortable with. In the United States, there's definitely situations where we've been underwhelmed or overwhelmed, and our system has had an underwhelming response in terms of PPE for providers. I've had plenty of colleagues and friends that have found themselves in very potentially dangerous situations without adequate PPE, and it's been concerning that they were being asked to go into these situations and without having that protection in place. Luckily, being in California, we weren't as overwhelmed and our peak wasn't quite as dire. So I haven't had much, but I think there's definitely a concern. There's definitely worries that we have about bringing COVID back into our households, spreading into our family, and ensuring that we're taking all the protections in place. But again, what that protection looks like and what the right level of protection for this disease is something that we may not have quite clear answers for a long time.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hamad, for sharing that with us. Guys, this is the time where we take a very short break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to be discussing some very crucial aspects of the COVID-19 pandemic, including the antibody test, the vaccine, and also the mental health aspect to this condition, how it's affecting the doctors, how it's affecting the medical professionals, and also how it's affecting people with pre-existing mental health conditions, To be honest, it's also creating new mental health problems with people who'd never had this problem before. So don't go anywhere. Join us back on Medical Voice in just a few minutes.
Allahu, 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 Allah.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Mahmoud here, and I'd like to invite you to our very special new initiative, WhatsApp Madrasa Group. On this platform, we have all Islamic lessons for all ages and all abilities. And all of this is taught in a very fun and interactive way. Take our superhero course, for example. In 90 seconds, your child, inshallah, will learn how to read, write, and memorize Arabic words. And we haven't missed anyone. It's never too late to learn. Have you always had the desire to memorize the Quran maybe? Or just learn a few surahs? Subhanallah, we will be able to assist you. Just by joining our WhatsApp Madrasa group, you will get short lessons and more detailed lessons for those people who want to learn. And it's never too late to learn. If you've always had the desire to memorize the Quran, or maybe just a portion of the Quran, or you just want to polish up your basics, or just start from scratch, well, joining WhatsApp Madrasa, we will cater for all of your needs. So please do join. Text join to the madrasa, the number which is on your screen, and inshallah we will get back to you very soon. Jazakumullah khair wa ahsanul jaza. Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu, Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah.
Hello guys, and welcome back to VOOC TV. This is Dr. Rajala, your host, and today, as we mentioned earlier before the break, we were discussing the COVID-19 pandemic and the effect it's having on the world. We have with us Dr. Uzair Ali and Dr. Hamad Khan. Dr. Hamad Khan is from University of California, and Dr. Uzair Ali is a fresh graduate from the University of Cardiff. Welcome guys, and thank you for joining us after the break. Now, we were going to touch on a few different subjects with regards to COVID-19. Dr. Uzair, I wonder whether you can shed some light on this antibody test that we keep hearing about. What is it and what does it mean?
So the antibody test is a form of test, obviously, which can detect whether you've been exposed to COVID-19 or the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Currently, it's something called the PCR test. And the big revelation of introducing the antibody test rather than the PCR is that it can detect whether you've had the virus on a much higher level, and it can detect how accurate the test is as well. So in medicine, there's two terms which are constantly referred to when you talk about a test. It's how specific it is and how sensitive it is. Sensitivity is like 100%, and its specificity is 99%, which shows you how good it is and how much of an impact it can bring. Mm-hmm. It was, there's been various research done regarding it, and it's been published in the Lancet, the BMJ, in lots of high regarded journals about its potential impact and what impact it could have and how it could be a game changer in current COVID status. And currently it's not being rolled across the UK, but they're hoping to do it soon. The antibody specifically, so what antibodies are is that they're basically proteins in the blood which are made in response to an infection. If you've been exposed to COVID-19, it will be present in your blood. The test usually is positive around 14 days post exposure, which is roughly the amount of time where the symptoms of COVID-19 start to get more impactful, and that's when a lot of people start to, if they do have symptoms, the serious symptoms start to present. Even if you're asymptomatic, if you've been exposed to it, the test will come back as positive.
So suppose you were infected, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, would you still have these antibodies in your body, in your bloodstream?
They would still be present, yes.
So the antibody test is a blood test, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, but it's not being rolled out just yet for the general public?
Well, Public Health England only recently announced its, availability and how it was going to be rolled out soon enough. Other countries, I believe, have started to introduce it, but I don't think the UK is one of them currently. I'm not sure about the States, though.
Dr. Hamad, I wonder whether you could shed some light on that.
Definitely. I think we're in a very similar sort of situation in the United States where we're beginning to hear more and more about the test. Obviously, there'd be a lot more utility with the test with more sensitivity and higher specificity. But at the same time, the availability of the test is still limited. In most localities, we're still using the PCR test, and that means the nasal swab where you're having to insert something into your nasal cavity to get a virus sample and then testing that, and it can often take a couple of days before you get a result.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I suppose we've covered that angle of the COVID-19 pandemic. Bringing, I think, the show forward and highlighting, in my opinion, the most serious aspect of the COVID-19 pandemic or the lockdown or this new lifestyle is the effect that it's having on a person's mental health. Frontline workers, these are people that are at the front line fighting this virus daily. Surely it's going to be affecting their mental health, in a considerable way. Dr. Uzair, what has been your experience? You've been there, you've been at the front line, you have participated, and then at such a young age, at such a sort of early stage of your career, to be thrown in at the deep end. How was that?
I think the worst part of it is definitely the uncertainty. So knowing or not knowing whether you've got it, whether you could potentially spread it to your loved ones, your family, your friends, some of them who are come under the high risk category. It means I have to isolate myself for days upon end until at least 2 weeks after I finished my hospital placement or job. And it has to be the worst part of it. When you go in and you see the patients for the first time, treating them and seeing them on with ventilators. I've never seen mortality on a such higher rate in my life. And being my first job in a medical world, it's scary.
I suppose that scars you in a way, because these memories are something that you will now take forward for the rest of your life.
I mean, in terms of my life as a working doctor, that's all I know so far. I mean, going forward, I guess it will maybe impact me on a certain level. It goes without saying. I mean, it's not humanly possible to not be affected after seeing so much death and uncertainty. But again, you start to appreciate life more because of it, I guess. And you see the patients which were on the brink of death and they started to recover. So there's always hope, when there doesn't seem to be any light shedding.
Of course, you're seeing both sides of it. You're seeing those who you expect are going to recover to make, go downhill, and they don't, and obviously the fatality rate being so high. But also you see those who you think might not make it, and they do. And I guess that's, as a doctor or as any medical professional, it's an extremely rewarding experience.
Yeah, 100%. I've seen patients that were, as you mentioned, on the brink of death. Their charts were, off the scale, and it didn't look good. The doctors were starting to be concerned.
And do you think this is what keeps the doctors going?
100%. So as the patient I was referring to, from out of nowhere, the oxygen levels started raising. They started breathing by themselves. The fever started dropping. So it was, it's one of those fairy tale stories that helps you appreciate what you're doing.
And you have patients who are in comas for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and they're waking up making recovery as well. So I suppose these are positive aspects of the recovery stage that we need to also highlight on our show.
100%, definitely. They're the true heroes here.
And how was your family with regards to this? Your parents or your siblings, how did they feel about a junior doctor going in, being thrown in at the deep end? Were they a little protective or possessive, or did they understand?
I think they were naturally concerned about the virus and the risk it posed. I mean, if you look in the news, currently BAME, people in the BAME category are most, affected by it. And being a newly qualified doctor, having an optional choice of whether to go in or not, it was, I think, a personal choice. My family strongly asked me to think about it and asked me if I thought it was the right thing to do. I believed it was, so it's one of those things.
And I suppose this is why everyone chooses the medical profession. We don't have any conditions, do we, that we will treat this and not this. We're there to care for everybody, I suppose, in any situation. Similarly, passing this question on to Dr. Hamad, who's a professional in mental health. How has this been for you? Because obviously you must be seeing an uprise in the presentations with mental health problems.
Definitely. And just to comment on what Dr. Ozera was sharing, it's mind-boggling for a new trainee to come into this environment and being a physician only in the world of COVID and not knowing, not having worked in inpatient hospitals before this, before the COVID pandemic. Talking to our mentors, they talked to us about AIDS, and they talked to us about previous pandemics, and nothing compares to what they're seeing right now. And what we're living through feels very much like a once in a lifetime, once in a generation type of experience. And it's difficult to imagine, entering into this world right now. But at the same time, when we look back into our research, we do have some places that we can pull from and draw some lessons from. So when we look about 10 years back to the H1N1 pandemic in East Asia, most of us living in North America or in Europe didn't feel it as directly, but when we looked at what the folks there experienced and what they wrote about, they saw a huge increase in mental health related outcomes afterwards. And I think we're sort of on the brink right now when we look at everything that our communities have gone through over these last few months and how unprecedented the interventions have been, let alone what the actual diseases cause, in our communities and the loss of life. Now, some of our communities relax their kind of acute concerns, is that in the long term, we're going to have a very significant mental health outcome that we're going to have to deal with. And it's something that our communities need to brace for, to begin to think more about, and to also begin to educate those members of our communities who may not have the understanding of what to look out for, what the outcomes potentially be, and how this can impact our lives much, much longer than this virus will last.
Absolutely. So how is the increased workload on you guys affecting you? Or do you think it's manageable at this stage?
Definitely. And I think there's definitely a stress that comes with it every day. When we talk about COVID and we talk about how much of an impact it has on our working environments, and I know we were talking about PPE or just protection of ourselves when we're in the work environment, those things take their toll. I was, reading a piece, an article in the LA Times that a good friend of mine just wrote. He's in New York City right now, working over in the ICU, and he spoke about how he hadn't seen his young toddler for months now. How his wife and his young kid had to leave their house, and he's living by himself right now. And he described this experience where he enters into his own apartment complex, walks up to the elevator, and there's a gentleman inside, and he asks him, please, can I go up there by myself, because I don't want to share an elevator with you. Just the thought of that, the way that those that are frontline are now being asked to isolate themselves, even in their places of living, of where, the place they call home, and they're separated from their loved ones in these situations, it has a significant mental health impact. And what we've seen in past situations like this is that we see more depression, we see more anxiety, we see post-traumatic stress-related symptoms and disorders actually rise too. And a lot of these things tend to last a lot longer, and they have long-term impacts on our workforce, in terms of our ability for our frontline providers to continue to provide frontline.
With the lockdown, and obviously with people working from home or people being furloughed, or, you'd think that people have more time now to meditate or, do some artistic work. And so one would think that their mental health would improve. That, they're eating better, they don't have the stress of working as hard, and the daily hustle and bustle that we were experiencing pre-lockdown, we have none of that. So one would think naively that this would be improving people's mental health, and I suppose it is on some, but why is it not always the case?
Yeah, and I don't think there's a naivete to that. I think it's actually an opportunity that we do have right now, that, although there's a lot of changes in our personal lives, and you mentioned work and childcare and these things all being so different, that you're right in that they have brought about a lot of new opportunities for us to address some of these things and be proactive. Now, about what we're going through right now is, one way I've heard it described is that we're in the midst of a marathon right now. And when you're running in a marathon, for anyone who's even run shorter distances, you try to pace yourself. But our challenge is we don't know if we have a mile left, 2 miles left, 20 miles left, or much more than that. And that's where our struggle is right now, where the end, kind of the down the road sign that we're looking for isn't quite clear to us. So what that does is it makes it very difficult for us to pace ourselves, to lean in on our coping mechanisms. And even though we may have more time, some of those old skills that we've picked up over decades of lived experience may not be applicable right now. We may not be able to go outside and congregate in settings that, previously brought us social support. We may not be able to go and go to the gym, do those exercise routines. So we're being forced to learn new ways, and we're being forced to become more creative in the ways that we're using as outlets. And it's incredibly important for us to continue to focus on ways to address, to be very, when we need to step in and start engaging in new strategies to address some of these increases in stress and anxiety that at some level each and every one of us has to be feeling right now.
There must be some people at home right now who are suffering with anxiety but not recognizing the symptoms, or struggling with their mental health and not really being able to either accept or even acknowledge it. What would you suggest are the symptoms that people should be looking out for to recognize that this has got to the point, this is affecting their mental health, and they should seek some medical help for this?
Definitely. And I think the way I conceptualize it when we're talking about mental health is it's somewhat of a spectrum where, most of us are somewhere on this spectrum. And at one end might be what we call a DSM diagnosis, where someone has a classical clinical diagnosis, where a psychologist or a psychiatrist or other mental health professional needs to who doesn't have any sort of symptom at all right now. For most of us, given the circumstance that we're going through right now, we're definitely somewhere in that symptomatic range. What we're going through is unprecedented. We haven't lived, through anything like this in our lifetimes. The levels of stress, anxiety, and the unknown future and the fear that it brings has introduced something that's very new for all of us, and our past ways of living just don't apply right now. So what we need to be able to look out for is important symptoms. So we want to make sure that we're, addressing those who are the most isolated in our communities, those who may not have any ability to connect both physically, and then we're talking about meeting their daily needs like food, water, and shelter, but also emotionally and socially. who don't have the ability to congregate with their young ones. We're especially seeing that with our elders right now, who are so disconnected from their grandchildren and even their own children sometimes. And, that is such a huge impact on their day-to-day life. And we begin to see in our more middle-aged population where, difficulty sleeping, people who have insomnia, people where they have incredible increases in irritability and moods instability. We're seeing folks with more depressive symptoms. And we're beginning to see an increasing rise in suicidality associated to all this, where the lack of social connection, the lack of being able to engage in these normal coping strategies has led to this, a slowly rising number of suicide attempts and unfortunately completed suicides. And especially in the mental health community, is something we're very worried about and very concerned about moving forward, because it's something that we anticipate will continue to grow.
Absolutely. So we've done a really good job of covering, I think, a lot of the aspects of mental health. Obviously, the show could go on and on and on and still not cover all of it, but I think we've touched on some of the most vital questions. We only have a short period of time left now, and there are two certain topics that I really wanted to discuss before we end the show. One is with Eid coming up, not too far from now, and obviously Eid is a festivity for Muslims where typically families get together. There's a lot of hugging, congregations within the mosques. With that not happening because of the COVID pandemic, what would be the advice that, Dr. Uzair, you would like to give to the viewers?
In terms of what to do with
I
Eid,
believe
or?
you belong to a very big family, and this is something that you guys typically do. So have you planned how you guys are going to be celebrating Eid this time?
So there were talks going on in the family group chat. I'm sure everyone has one nowadays, where one of us proposed to do a sort of gathering in the garden, maintaining social distancing and, pertaining to government guidelines. But then another voice in the group was correctly said that even if we were to maintain the distancing, is it a necessity to meet everyone at this current stage of time? I mean, what's more important right now? I mean, it's like a risk, thing. You got to weigh the benefits of it. And if you do weigh it, I don't think the potential, meeting of your family members on Eid outweighs the risk of potentially spreading the virus to one of them, who may, spread it to another one of the family members who is high risk. And then, the worst could happen in that sort of situation. So I think when it comes to Eid specifically, we have to be careful in terms of how we celebrate. Try and pertain it to within your own household. Maybe share a food, a food dish with another house, if that's possible, if you can do so in a safe manner. That would probably be the best advice I could give right now, because we're living in uncertain times right now. This isn't the normality that we know. This isn't going to change any time, soon over the next few weeks. If we stick to guidelines, if we're disciplined within ourselves, then the peak, will surpass, and we will be, on the downward spiral. If we continue on this way right now, who's to say that this, distancing won't be happening on the next Eid or the one after that? So we have to do our best to try and, act on it right now to prevent this getting any, further from what it is.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Uzair. And just one more topic that we need to discuss, Dr. Hamada. I know we're keeping you up, and this is very early hours in the morning for you. There's some. There was some mention in the early days of lockdown that children were safe from this disease, and this disease does not seem to be affecting the children. But in the recent days, new articles have been coming up highlighting something similar to Kawasaki disease and how children are being highly sort of impacted by this. Could you explain or shed some light for the layman what this means?
Definitely. And this is something that, is changing day by day right now. It's something that's been on the forefront of a lot of the conversations a lot of us in the medical community have been having just over the last few days, really. And early on in the course, like you mentioned, a lot of our pediatricians and our specialists in this field talked about coronavirus not having as great of an impact on the young folks in our communities, where although some of them were having some degree of symptoms, they were having the poor outcomes that the elders in our communities were having. That's not to say that they were immune or that they weren't having any, any kind of poor outcomes, but it was definitely lesser so. Now, over the last few weeks, particularly in New York and the United States here, we've seen a big spike in young people coming into the hospitals with what we call more of where they're having issues in terms of the vascular system in the body and inflammation in their blood vessels. And these are all things that initially rose concern amongst the physician community about Kawasaki, which is a syndrome that many of us are very familiar with. It's very rare, and we're able to control it pretty well in a hospital setting. But at the same time, when we get to know this more new syndrome a little bit better, we recognize that it was slightly different, and now it's been renamed to be something separate. Now, what's important to recognize with this is that it is not uncommon for after a virus comes into a community for young people to have a post-viral symptom. And when we're seeing this increased number of, just overwhelming number of coronavirus going on in communities, it wouldn't be unfathomable. And in fact, it might be almost expected to some degree for young people to have some kind of post-viral symptomology. Now, our ability to understand whether or not it's directly related to COVID is so yet unclear. We talked a little bit about testing. There are some folks that are actually having negative tests for coronavirus, for COVID-19, which complicates the picture that much further. At this stage, what we're learning is that the overall amount of children coming in with this presentation is still very, very low. We're able to have good control of most of the symptoms and when folks are able to come into the hospital. But what we're recommending most importantly is for people to continue to take the same precautions that they've been taking. Make sure you're washing your hands, make sure you're isolating as much as possible, both if you're an older person or a young person. And then if your child or someone that's in your family begins to show any kind of symptoms and fever, any kind of nausea, vomiting, pain, sort of the same symptoms that you're hearing a lot about, make sure you go and pursue medical evaluation as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Hamad, Dr. Uzair, for taking time out to join us. And that brings us to the end of this show, guys. Thank you so much for listening. To summarize, the COVID-19 pandemic is still happening. It's still ongoing. We don't know how long it might take. Life after lockdown may never be the same. It may be the beginning of a new kind of lifestyle, which we will all need to accept and adapt to. To summarize, currently there are no vaccines. There's ongoing research. Let's see what the new day holds. Each day we're finding out something new with regards to this pandemic and with regards to this novel virus. There's new blood tests being experimented and being rolled out, hopefully, which will tell us whether we have this virus or we have had this virus and whether we have some sort of immunity towards it. Still early days, it's unsure whether, if you have become immune to it, whether this virus will come back and attack you again. This virus is mutating, it is changing, it is now beginning to affect children as well. So although initially the statements were that this is not affecting children are pretty much safe from it, that's not the case anymore. The mutant viruses, the new types of viruses are causing, fatalities within children or, making children really unwell with a form of this virus causing Kawasaki type of disease. The mental health aspect, it's affecting everyone to some degree, some more than others. And I suppose, we all have to look out for each other. The frontline doctors, as Dr. Uzair mentioned, is holding on to the positives, holding on to the recoveries and using that to keep going. And I suppose with any type of mental health, that's what we need to do. We need to hold on to the positivities and take each day as it comes. Like Dr. Hamad mentioned, this may be the time to sort of adapt, learn different ways of getting exercise. If you can't go to the gym, learn different ways of socializing. If you can't go and see your grandparents, maybe, write them a letter, do different types of communication that would allow you to communicate, keep in touch with everyone, keep letting them know that you care about them, share the love. My personal message to all of you with Eid approaching would be to stay at home, guys, stay safe. There will be plenty more Eids where we can do all the things that we used to do in the past. During this current lockdown, during this state, there should be no congregational prayers, there should be no hugs, there should be no shaking of hands. We can't outsmart this virus. It is a simple way, okay? So even if you're planning on doing congregational prayers in the garden, it's just not going to happen, guys. You need to respect the laws, and as a Muslim community, we have a standard to keep and maintain. We need to show the world that we are as intelligent as them and we are as serious as them in fighting this virus. So, you know, let's find different ways of celebrating Eid this time. We can use Zoom, we can use WhatsApp calls, Skype calls, we can send presents to each other, we can even exchange meals, you know, food items. And so that's it. That's in my humble opinion, the way to celebrate Eid this time. Stay safe, guys, and good luck. Allah Hafiz.
رمضان تجلى وابتسم طوبى للعبد إذا اغتنم.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Vooks TV. I will be your host today, Mahmoud, and Alhamdulillah we have two very special guests, Maulana Muhammad Saqlain Haydari and Ustad Bilal, and we have a very special program for you today. For those who don't know, our great Sheikh, Allama, Doctor, retired Justice, Mufakkir Islam, Allama Khalid Mahmood, Rahmatullahi alayh, passed away a couple of days ago, and we thought the khidmat, the work that he did, and the concern that he had for the ummah, we thought that we must do a special show on him. So those of us who don't know him and those of us who didn't appreciate him, and all of us unfortunately, how he should have been appreciated, we didn't fulfill that right as a great scholar has that right. So the program will be the legacy of Allama Justice Khalid Mahmood. So the legacy of Allama Sheikh Khalid Mahmood, Mufakkir Islam, is very vast. He came to the UK right in the beginning, in the 60s I think it was, mashallah, and he was the driving force behind everything that you see today, mashallah. You know, him and two, three other great scholars who unfortunately have passed away as well, they laid the foundations of what we have today. So it's only right that we speak about him, we remember him, we carry on his legacy, inshallah, and inshallah with our very special guests today who've spent much more time with him than myself, we'll get a very good picture of the Shaykh. As we know, the Quran, speaks about great personalities. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran is full of great personalities. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of these personalities as an example for us. Because as human beings, we always have to look up to someone. We all have idols, if you want to call it. And in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, in the very first surah, Sirat al-Mustaqim, Sirat al-Ladina an'amta alayhim. The right path, the path that the people that Allah has favored. So, what Allah is saying is, guidance and righteousness is twinned with an'amta alayhim, with people. One of the great scholars, he said, without Rijalullah, the people of Allah, there is no deen, there is no guidance, there is no Quran. Because the Quran was sent, but it was sent with a teacher. So Alhamdulillah, Allama Sheikh Khalid Mahmood, Rahmatullahi alayhi, was one of the greatest teachers, and he has thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of students. So let's inshallah speak about the great Sheikh we can maybe start from the beginning. Shuru se inshallah we'll have Urdu and English inshallah for those audience members, because mashallah Allama Saab's first language was Urdu and he spoke English. Mashallah, he was a doctor, so he was so inshallah we do have many viewers who speak Urdu, but we'll keep it inshallah English and Urdu as well. So Maulana Saab, علامہ صاحب کی جو پیدائش وغیرہ ان کی جو بچپن اس کے بارے میں تھوڑا آپ کلیریفائی کر سکتے ہیں؟
بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. مولانا محمود صاحب میں آپ کا نہایت ممنون و مشکور ہوں کہ آپ نے دعوت دی. یہ ایک بہت بڑی عظیم ہستی تھی کہ جو اس دار فانی سے چلی گئیں، جس کا ہمیں بہت صدمہ ہے. حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ قصور کے اندر جو لاہور میں ہے، قصور کے اندر جو ہے جو لاہور کے قریب ہے، اس میں حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ اکتوبر 1925 کے اندر جو ہے وہ آپ پیدا ہوئے.
اچھا، تو قصور یہ ایک جگہ،
قصور جو لاہور کے قریب ہے. جی جی، لاہور کے قریب قصور ہے. بیسیکلی تو اوریجنلی جو ہے حضرت علامہ صاحب کی جو فیملی ہے، ان کے والد صاحب کا نام تھا پیر عبدالغنی صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ. تو پیر عبدالغنی صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ جو تھے وہ بیسیکلی وہ پیچھے سے ان کی جو فیملی بیک گراؤنڈ ہے وہ کشمیر سے تھے. ہاں جی، کشمیر سے تھے. تو ان کے والد صاحب وزارت تعلیم میں تھے، محکمہ تعلیم میں تھے، تو ان کی پوسٹ وغیرہ ہوتی رہتی تھی، دوسرے موو ہوتے رہتے تھے. تو ان کی جیسے جیسے جہاں جاب ہوتی تھی، تو اس لحاظ سے یہ اس وقت قصور کے اندر تھے ان کے والد صاحب. وہاں پر ہر ڈاکٹر صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ کا جو ہے وہ پیدائش ہوئی. اور اس کے بعد جو ہے حضرت جو ہیں وہیں پر کچھ عرصہ گزرا. اب تھوڑے بڑے ہوئے تو ان کے والد صاحب پھر جو ہے اس وقت آہستہ آہستہ پھر جو ہے آپ تشریف جو آپ کی عمر بڑھتی گئی تو آپ نے وہیں پر اپنا جو ہے تعلیمی آغاز بھی کیا. قصور کے اندر جو ہے وہ آپ نے پڑھا. پھر جو ہے وہاں سے ان کو موو ہونا پڑا اور یہ پھر اس وقت جو ہے وہ امرتسر آ گئے.
اچھا،
ہاں جی، قصور سے جو ہے یہ حضرات امرتسر تشریف لے آئے. تو امرتسر کے اندر بھی ان کا جو ہے کچھ وقت گزرا ہے. تو پنجاب جو ہے اس وقت انڈیا کے اندر جو ہے امرتسر، تو امرتسر کے اندر جو وقت گزرا تو اس میں بھی حضرت نے وہاں پر بھی اپنی سیکولر ایجوکیشن بھی اور جو دینی تعلیمات جو ہیں وہ بھی وہیں سے.
تو مطلب یہ سب پارٹیشن سے پہلے؟
یہ پارٹیشن کی پہلے کی بات ہے. اور اس وقت جو ہے پارٹیشن سے پہلے جب ان کی عمر تقریباً آپ کہہ لیں کہ 35 36 37 کی بات ہے کہ جب تحریک پاکستان کی جو ہے یہ بھی موومنٹ چل رہی تھی، تو اس وقت پھر ان کے جو والدین ہیں وہ سیالکوٹ موو ہو گئے.
جی جی جی،
سیالکوٹ بھی موو ہوئے. تو لیکن حضرت کے جو اساتذہ اور آپ نے وہیں اپنا تعلیمی سلسلہ بھی جو ہے وہ اپنا جاری و ساری رکھا ساتھ ساتھ جو ہے. تو آپ ساتھ ساتھ سیکولر ایجوکیشن بھی جو ہے اپنے ماسٹرز ڈگریز بھی کر رہے تھے ساتھ ساتھ. تو آپ نے 4 سے 5 جو ہیں وہ ماسٹرز ڈگریز اس وقت وہاں کر لی تھیں. تو کیونکہ حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ 47 اور 48 کے اندر جو ہے آپ مرے کالج سیالکوٹ کے اندر جو ہے وہ ایز اے پروفیسر کے طور پر جو ہے وہ پڑھا رہے تھے. اور مرے کالج کی خاصیت یہ ہے کہ شاعر مشرق ڈاکٹر علامہ اقبال صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ یہ وہیں کے پڑھے ہوئے تھے. اس وجہ سے مرے کالج سیالکوٹ جو ہے اس کا ایک نام ہے. ایک نام ہے مرے کالج کا سیالکوٹ کا پاکستان کے اندر، بلکہ بر صغیر کے اندر جو ہے.
اکثر لوگوں کو پتہ بھی نہیں کہ علامہ صاحب کا جو کنیکشن کتنے بڑے بڑے ماشاءاللہ. علامہ شبیر احمد عثمان ان کے ٹیچر تھے یا؟ جی جی،
حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ پہلے ڈابیل کے اندر بھی رہے. ڈابیل میں حضرت اس وقت پڑھنے کے لیے گئے تھے جس وقت حضرت مولانا شمس الحق افغانی رحمۃ اللہ علیہ، حضرت مولانا بدر عالم صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ، اور اس کے علاوہ حضرت مولانا بنوری رحمہ اللہ اس وقت وہاں پر پڑھایا کرتے تھے. تو یہ اس دور کے اندر حضرت علامہ صاحب جو تھے.
تو جو لوگ نہیں جانتے، یہ لوگ جو ہے یہ پاکستان انڈیا وغیرہ کا جو فاؤنڈیشن ہے، جی جی، دینی فاؤنڈیشن، مدارس، مساجد وغیرہ، جو سب یعنی حق کے لیے یعنی کوشش وغیرہ، اس میں بہت یعنی ان کا
اللہ تعالیٰ نے شروع سے ہی حضرت علامہ صاحب کو قدرتی طور پر جسے کہہ سکتے ہیں کہ گاڈ گفٹڈ، کہ ان کے اندر اتنی صلاحیت تھیں، اللہ تعالیٰ نے اتنی صلاحیتیں دی ہوئی تھیں کہ اتنا سب سے بڑی جو ان کے اندر چیز تھی، جو خاصیت تھی، ان کا حافظہ بڑا قوی تھا. حافظہ بڑا مضبوط تھا. حافظہ ان کا بڑا مضبوط تھا. اور اس کی تو سب سے بڑی دلیل یہ ہے کہ جو ابھی تک اخیر عمر تک یہ اخیر عمر تک جو ان کو لوگ ملتے رہے ہیں.
ان کا ایج سوری کتنا تقریباً؟
ایج جو ہے حضرت کا تقریباً جو ہے وہ 95 جو ہے,
تاکہ لوگوں کو پتہ کہ اخیر تک ماشاءاللہ وہ درس وغیرہ میں
95 ایج جو ہے وہ بنتی ہے اگر 1925 سے جو ہے. تو حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ جو ہیں اس وقت حضرت مولانا حسین احمد صاحب مدنی رحمۃ اللہ علیہ ان کے دروس میں بھی شامل ہوتے رہے, ان کی مجالس میں. تو ان حضرات کی صحبت جو ہے وہ حضرت کو رہی ہے, ان کی مجالس میں کبھی آنا جانا.
میں نے ایک بات بھی سنی تھی, کوئی میرے خیال میں کوئی بزرگ تھے, انہوں نے کہا کہ اگر کوئی باطل کچھ صبح میں شروع ہوئے تو یعنی عصر تک یعنی اثر وقت تک علامہ صاحب تیار ہو جائیں گے.
نہیں, یہ اصل میں اس طرح ہے کہ حضرت امیر شریعت سید طاء اللہ شاہ صاحب بخاری رحمۃ اللہ علیہ, حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ جو ہیں علامہ صاحب سے بڑی محبت کیا کرتے تھے. حضرت کو حضرت سے بڑی محبت تھی, بڑا پیار کیا کرتے تھے. اور امیر شریعت کا ہند و پاک کے اندر ایک نام ہے, ان کا ایک خطیب ہونا, ان کی ایک تحریک ختم تحفظ ختم نبوت کے اندر ان کی جو خدمات ہیں ان سے کوئی بھی جو ہے وہ انکار نہیں کر سکتا. تو حضرت علامہ صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ انہی کے پروردہ تھے, پروردہ انہی کی جو تربیت یافتہ تھے.
اور وہ جو لوگ نہیں جانتے ان کو تھوڑا بہت, وہ پاکستان کے
امیر شیخ سید طاء شاہ صاحب بخاری جو ہیں یہ بھی پنجاب جو ہے جب انڈیا کے اندر ہے اس وقت پنجاب, وہاں سے آپ کا تعلق تھا. تو حضرت شاہ صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ اس وقت وہیں سے یہ جب تحریک اٹھی تو حضرت وہاں پر تھے. لیکن بیسیکلی حضرت شاہ صاحب رہنے والے تھے گجرات کے, ناگڑیاں نام ہے گاؤں کا. حضرت شاہ صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ وہ گجرات کے رہنے والے تھے, پھر بعد میں یہاں سے بھی موو ہو کر ملتان چلے گئے. تو ملتان کے اندر جو حضرت تو تحریک ختم نبوت کے اندر جو حضرت کا کردار رہا وہ تو کسی سے ڈھکا چھپا نہیں ہے حضرت شاہ صاحب. تو حضرت علامہ صاحب کی جو خدا داد صلاحیتیں تھیں, جو شروع سے ہی اللہ تعالیٰ نے ان کو یہ خدا داد صلاحیتیں دی ہوئی تھیں, تو حضرت شاہ صاحب پہچان گئے تھے. تو عمر چھوٹی تھی تو حضرت شاہ صاحب نے خوب ان کی تربیت کی. حضرت مولانا لال حسین اختر صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ وہ بھی جو ہے تحریک تحفظ ختم نبوت کے اوپر جو ہے وہ ان کا ایک کام تھا, تو وہ بھی ساتھ ہوا کرتے تھے. تو یہ تھا کہ حضرت کے اساتذہ میں سے جو ہے حضرت مولانا شبیر احمد صاحب عثمانی, حضرت مولانا شمس العقب صاحب افغانی رحمۃ اللہ علیہ, حضرت بنوری رحمۃ اللہ علیہ, حضرت خیر محمد صاحب جلندری رحمۃ اللہ علیہ, حضرت مفتی محمد حسن صاحب,
صرف ان کا یہ کنیکشن یہ سب کچھ.
حضرت مفتی محمد حسن صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ تو جامعہ جو اشرفیہ کے بانی ہیں, تو ان کے ساتھ تو حضرت کی بڑی محبت تھی, بہت محبت تھی,
اخیر تک وہاں جاتے رہے.
حضرت کی پھر جو اتنی محبت تھی ان کے ساتھ کہ آخری عمر تک جو ہے حضرت جامعہ اشرفیہ کو کہا کرتے یہ تو میرا اپنا جامعہ ہے نا, یہ تو میری اپنے جامعہ اشرفیہ.
وہ آن لائن بھی کبھی کبھار یا ٹیلی فون پر بھی ماشاءاللہ
ان کے درس ان کے تدریس کا جو ہے وہاں پر آخر تک جو ہے وہ سلسلہ چلتا رہا ہے. تو یہ تو ایک ایسا شخص تھا کہ جو پرانے پچھلا جو علماء کا جو سلسلہ چلتا آ رہا تھا, جو قافلہ چلتا ہوا آ رہا تھا, تو یہ اس میدان کا جو ہے یہ ایک آخری فرد رہ گیا تھا کہ جس نے ان سب امام الاولیاء حضرت مولانا احمد اللہ لاہوری صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ ان کے ساتھ حضرت کا بڑا قریبی تعلق تھا. حضرت ان کے تربیت یافتہ بھی تھے, صحبت یافتہ, ان کے ساتھ جو ہے حضرت ان کے فیض یافتہ بھی تھے.
میں بھی تھوڑا ان کے یعنی آپ نے کہا English میں unique, یعنی unique ulama. I'll just say in English, you know, in this day and age, to find ulama like that is virtually impossible, and it fits with the saying of the Prophet ﷺ when the hadith in Bukhari where the Prophet ﷺ said to the Sahaba that knowledge will be lifted, and the Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ were very, very surprised, and they answered, which is logical answer, how can the deen be lifted when we have the Quran amongst us? And the Prophet ﷺ to the nearest meaning said, the true ulama will leave. So that's what we're seeing. And just to, you know, Allama Sahib, from my interactions with him, you know, subhanallah, he was the justice, retired obviously of Pakistan, you know, which is the highest legal position. And, you know, as Maulana Sahib has said, all these great personalities, but he was so humble. You know, when you used to go to see him, he'd stand up. You know, myself, you know, I could be his grandson, that's how. But he'd stand up, he'd do our khidmat, he'd ask about myself, and, you know, subhanallah, these are great scholars. And, you know, I'd feel embarrassed sometimes when sometimes, you know, I'd phone and they'd say, oh, Allama Sahib was asking about you, because subhanallah, my father and Allama Sahib, they were very, very close. my father, rahmatullah alayhi, Sheikh Kamal, he used to always bring him to our Islamic school, my father's Islamic school, where mashallah great scholars finished their seminaries, and subhanallah, he would take the tests, he would take the exams, and he even, when we moved to Manchester, he even started teaching. So those students, mashallah, like Maulana Sahib, they were very, very fortunate to benefit on a knowledge side from him as well. And subhanallah, just to, before we go back, it's really, really important that, just like Maulana Sahib, the information and the facts, we should be teaching our children about these facts of our great scholars. Our kids, they know football players' names, their family members, where they go, what they eat, they have the pictures, and really, they're real superheroes. They have made, the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-ulama warathatul anbiya, aw kama qala, that the ulama, the scholars, they are the inheritors of the prophets. Subhanallah. So they are actually in the bracket, in the group of the prophets. So how much higher can anyone, in this day and age? I mean, obviously we can't, there's no more prophets coming, so that we can't relate to directly, but we can relate to these great scholars. And the reason the Prophet ﷺ actually said this, the ulama warathatul anbiya, is a very important hadith, because the scholars, they say that to find a true scholar, you have to weigh them up and reflect how their life was with the life of the prophets. And you look at Allama Sahib's life, mashallah, very simple life. He could have had millions of pounds, but he slept in a room on the floor, and that's what he preferred. That's how his traditional, and this is something that they did because they knew that the prophets, all of them, they didn't come here to to gain wealth and all of these things. The scholars, they were humble because they had so much concern for the deen that they didn't have time for all of these things. All day, when you'd go to his room, either he'd be studying, writing, or talking. Subhanallah, this is in the mid-90s, subhanallah, and there'd always be someone there. So subhanallah, we're very fortunate to have, mashallah, Maulana Sahib to, give us such in-depth information about Allama Sahib. आप जारी रखे तो अल्लामा साहब जो ग्रेट पर्सनालिटीज़ उनके साथ रहे वगैरह।
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल इसी तरह हज़रत हकीमुल इस्लाम कारी मोहम्मद तैयब साहब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, मोहतमिम दारुल देवबंद,
उन्होंने इंट्रोडक्शन भी लिखा था ना
जी बिल्कुल। हज़रत की एक किताब थी मकाम हयात, जो नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की एक सीरत का पहलू है। तो वो किताब जो है वो हज़रत की बड़ी ही अल्लाह ताला ने उसके अंदर रूहानियत, नूरानियत जो है उसके अंदर नज़र आती है।
वो यूनिक बुक है,
यूनिक बुक है। तो हज़रत कारी साहब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने उसके ऊपर जो है वो तकरीर भी लिखी। तो हज़रत अल्लामा साहब इसके ऊपर बड़ा जो है वो सादर समझा करते थे कि हज़रत कारी साहब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने मकाम हयात के ऊपर जो है वो तकरीर लिखी है। तो हज़रत के जो हैं इन सारे जो हैं, आपने जो भी थोड़ी सी बात की कि हज़रत की इनकिसारी, हज़रत की तवाज़ु इतनी, उनके अंदर जो आजिज़ी थी, इतनी इनकिसारी थी कि मैं हालांकि जो है हफ्ते में 3 से 4 दिन जो है वो हज़रत के पास रहा करता था, लेकिन फिर भी जब मैंने हर हफ्ते आना है तो हज़रत अल्लामा साहब ने जो खड़े होकर मिलना है, तो मैं हालांकि शर्मिंदा होता था, मैं हज़रत को कहा करता था, कहता था बैठे रहें, कि आप बैठे रहें, लेकिन हज़रत अल्लामा साहब ने खड़े होना है, खड़े होकर जो है वो मुआनका करना है, वो मिलना है। कोई छोटा आ रहा है, कोई बड़ा आ रहा है, तो हज़रत की ये खासियत थी कि उसे जो है बड़ी कुशादा दिली से जो है वो मिलना है।
इसलिए कि मेरा एक स्टूडेंट है, वो माशाल्लाह रिवर्ट, वो उर्दू भी नहीं जानता है, लेकिन जब वो आए तो इतना मुतासिर हुए कि वो बार बार मुझे कह रहे थे कि अल्लामा साहब के पास जाना है। अल्लामा, अगरचे वो उर्दू भी नहीं बोल सकते, वो समझ भी नहीं सकते, मेरे साथ वो क्या अल्लामा साहब क्या कह रहे, तो माशाल्लाह उनका ये असर था ना।
एक दफ़ा मेरे साथ एक साथी आए, तो वो जैसे दुनियादारी जैसे होती है, तो इस तरह थे, तो वो आए तो कहते थे कि मैंने अल्लामा साहब का नाम सुना है, तो मैं अल्लामा साहब से मिलना चाहता हूँ। तो मैंने कहा बिल्कुल। तो उन्होंने पूछा कि कोई अपॉइंटमेंट वगैरह हज़रत से मिलने के लिए,
تو میں نے پھر انہیں کہا کہ علامہ صاحب ایک واحد ایسی شخصیت ہیں کہ اتنی بڑی شخصیت ہونے کے باوجود جو ہیں کوئی بڑے سے بڑا آ رہا ہے یا کوئی چھوٹے سے چھوٹا آ رہا ہے، ان کا دروازہ ہر ایک کے لیے یکساں کھلا ہوا ہے. یہ نہیں کسی کو جو ہے کہ وہ اپوائنٹمنٹ بنوانا پڑے گی یا یہ کرنا پڑے گا.
اور یہ بہت آج کل بہت یونیک،
جی جی،
یعنی یہ سیلیبریٹی کلچر بہت ہو رہا ہے نا آج کل. علماء کے بس ان کے ساتھ ملنا بھی بہت مشکل
ہو جاتا ہے. تو وہ ساتھی جو ہیں جب تشریف لائے تو ان دنوں کے اندر علامہ صاحب جو ہیں وہ تقریباً 3-4 سال پہلے کی بات ہے، تو اس وقت علامہ صاحب کا جو بستر ہوتا تھا وہ بھی نیچے زمین کے اوپر ہوا کرتا تھا. تو یہ بیڈ تو جو ہے ابھی جب علامہ صاحب کا 1-2 آپریشن ہوا تو آپریشن کے بعد وہ نیچے بیٹھ نہیں سکتے تھے، جس وجہ سے ہے تو وہ جو میٹرس جو تھا وہ نیچے حضرت علامہ صاحب اس کے اوپر. تو وہ جب صاحب ساتھ تشریف لائے، وہ جو ساتھی تھے، تو وہ حضرت علامہ صاحب بھی نیچے بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں، تو ظاہری سی بات ہے پھر انہوں نے بھی نیچے ہی بیٹھنا تھا. تو وہ جب نیچے بیٹھے تو وہ بعد میں اتنے حیران ہوئے کہ یہ بندہ اتنی بڑی پوسٹ کے اوپر رہا ہے، اتنے بڑا اس کا جو ہے نام ہے، لیکن یہ ایک مانچسٹر اور پھر انگلینڈ کے اندر مانچسٹر شہر کے اندر جو ہے وہ ایک کمرہ ہے، اور کمرے کے اندر نیچے بیڈ کے اوپر جو ہے بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں، اور ہم بھی ساتھ بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں. تو یہ ان کی جو ہے وہ عاجزی کا اور انکساری کا حال تھا.
وہ جو روحانیت
اور روحانیت
کے کمرے میں جب بس یہ ہم کہ یہاں بیٹھی، اس لیے کہ ان کا اردو ان کو وہ بھی ہائی ماشاءاللہ. تو بعض دفعہ وہ ان کا ایج بھی ایسا، تو بعض دفعہ ان کی جو بات وغیرہ مشکل سے یعنی جو لوگ عادت تھے وہ پھر کلیریفائی کر لیتے تھے، لیکن ماشاءاللہ.
لیکن اس عمر کے اندر بھی جو ہے حضرت علامہ صاحب سے جیسا کہ کہا جاتا ہے نا کہ کسی کے ایک تو ہے کہ علم،
جی جی،
ایک تو ہے کہ وعظ و نصیحت بڑی ضروری چیز ہے، اس میں کوئی شک نہیں ہے. لیکن جو کسی بزرگ کا جو عمل ہوتا ہے نا، جب انسان اسے دیکھتا ہے تو جو دیکھنے والا ہوتا ہے اس کے اوپر وہ زیادہ اثر کرتا ہے.
جی جی،
ایک ہے صرف وعظ و نصیحت کرنا، ایک ہے عمل پیرا بھی ہونا. تو حضرت علامہ صاحب کی زندگی ایسی تھی کہ انہیں عبادات سے اتنی محبت تھی کہ نماز کے ساتھ، ابھی نماز کتنا بڑا اسلام کے اندر جو ہے نماز کا یہ ایک مقام ہے کہ اتنی بڑی عبادت ہے. تو حضرت علامہ صاحب آخر عمر تک نماز کو نہیں چھوڑا کرتے تھے، نماز کے پابند تھے، اور نماز کے کبھی آپ نے نماز کو میں نے تو اتنے سال سے علامہ صاحب کو
درس بھی جب وہ بیٹھتے اور درس دے دیتے تو یہ نہیں کہہ سکتے کہ ان کا عمر وہ بالکل کھلا اتنا یعنی متاثر.
یہ تقریباً مولانا پچھلے سال کی بات ہے، ایک واقعہ یاد آ گیا کہ حضرت جو ہیں وہ آنکھوں کا آپریشن ہوا.
اچھا. تو
آنکھوں کا آپریشن ہوا تو ڈاکٹر کی طرف سے جو ہے یہ ہدایت تھی کہ آپ نے جو ہے پانی استعمال نہیں کرنا.
اچھا.
پانی استعمال نہیں کرنا. تو حضرت جو ہے پچھلے 2-3 سال سے جو ہے وہ کبھی چھوٹا موٹا کوئی مسئلہ ہونا تو ہاسپٹل جانا پڑتا تھا. تو اکثر اوقات جو 2-3 دن ہاسپٹل میں رہنا تو حضرت کے لیے بڑی مشکل ہوتی تھی ہاسپٹل میں رہنا، کیونکہ ان کا دل جو ہے وہ تڑپتا تھا کہ بھئی میں یہاں پر وضو نہیں کر سکتا، میں نماز نہیں پڑھ سکتا. تو جب حضرت علامہ صاحب دوسرے یا تیسرے دن واپس آیا کرتے تھے تو وہاں پر تسبیح کیا کرتے تھے ہاسپٹل کے اندر. اور جب واپس جو ہے گھر تشریف لانا، قیام گاہ میں رہائش گاہ پر تشریف لانا، تو حضرت کی یہ فوراً آ کر جو ہے وضو کرنا کہ میں پہلے نماز پڑھوں گا. فوراً جو ہے وہ وضو کرنا، نماز پڑھنی. تو پھر علامہ صاحب کی طبیعت کے اندر نا وہ بالکل ٹھہراؤ سا آ جانا، بالکل نرمی سی آ جانی. جب تک جتنے دن ہاسپٹل میں رہنا وہ طبیعت میں بہت زیادہ جو ہے نا وہ ایک بے سکونی سی جیسے ہوتی ہے بندے کے اندر. تو واقعہ میں یہ بتا رہا تھا کہ علامہ صاحب کی جو ہے وہ آنکھوں کا آپریشن ہوا تو جو آخری کچھ دن جو ہے وہ جتنی ہدایات تھی کہ اتنے دن تک آپ نے پانی استعمال نہیں کرنا. تو اس کے بعد بھی ڈاکٹر نے کہا کہ کوشش یہ کریں کہ سجدہ نہ کریں اور پانی استعمال نہ کریں، لیکن اگر کر بھی لیں تو کوئی حرج نہیں ہے اتنے دنوں کے بعد. تو میں نے علامہ صاحب کو ویسے ہی کہا کہ علامہ صاحب ڈاکٹر نے تو ان کی ہدایات کے مطابق تو اب آپ پانی بھی استعمال کر سکتے ہیں اور سجدہ بھی کر سکتے ہیں، لیکن اچھا یہ ہے کہ آپ سجدہ بھی نہ کریں اور پانی بھی ابھی 1-2 دن اور کر لیں، احتیاط کر لیں. تو حضرت علامہ صاحب فرماتے ہیں کہ آج سے تقریباً 20 سال پہلے کی بات ہے کہ میں آج سے 20 سال پہلے کی بات ہے کہ میرے ناک سے جو ہے نا وہ خون بہنا شروع ہو گیا تھا. تو وہ اس طرح وہ ہو چکا تھا کہ میں نہ نماز پڑھ سکتا تھا اور نہ میں وضو کر سکتا تھا، نہ میں نماز پڑھ سکتا تھا نہ وضو کر سکتا تھا. تو کہتے ہیں کہ اس وقت میرے بڑی گرانی گزری مجھے، میرا بڑا دل بے سکون ہوا. تو کہتے ہیں کہ میں نے اللہ رب العزت سے دعا کی کہ یا اللہ جب تک تو مجھے رکھ اس دنیا کے اندر مجھ سے 2 نعمتیں نہ چھیننا. ایک کیا؟ ایک وضو کی نعمت اور ایک یہ کہ سجدہ کی نعمت. کہ ایک جو ہے وضو کی نعمت اور ایک جو ہے وہ سجدہ کی نعمت جو ہے کہ یا اللہ وہ مجھ سے نہ چھیننا جب تک میں زندہ رہوں. اور وہ ان کا یہ آخر عمر تک یہ جو ہے آخری دنوں تک جو ہے جب آپ گرے ہیں، جس دن آپ کو ہاسپٹل لے کر جایا گیا اس دن بھی مغرب کی نماز پڑھی ہے. اور یہ اب تک جو ہے یہ عبادات سے جو محبت کی بات ہے کہ یہ تو نماز کی بات ہے، نماز سے محبت، اسی طرح حج سے محبت، اسی طرح روزہ رکھنے سے محبت، تراویح.
یہ بھی ہمارے لیے لیسن ہے کہ ہم نے کبھی اسی طرح کی دعا کیا ہے. یعنی کتنی محبت، یعنی ہم سوچ بھی نہیں سکتے. ہم تو دنیا کے لیے وغیرہ وہ، لیکن اتنا محبت ان کے.
بالکل. تو یہ آج کل کے نوجوانوں کے لیے، ہم جیسے نوجوانوں کے لیے اس کے اندر بڑی عبرت ہے، بڑی عبرت ہے کہ حضرت علامہ صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ جب کبھی تھکے بھی آئے ہیں سفر سے، جب ہم کہیں سفر پر گئے ہیں، سفر سے واپسی ہوئی ہے تو واپسی پر آئے ہیں تو تھکے ہوئے ہیں، تو حضرت علامہ صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ نے کبھی 1 گھنٹے کے بعد بھی نماز کا وقت ہے نا، تو میں نے جا کر کہا ہے، یہ حضرت مفتی فیض الرحمان صاحب نے کہا ہے کہ حضرت علامہ صاحب نماز کا وقت ہے. تو حضرت علامہ صاحب جو ہے نا حالانکہ بوڑھے ہو چکے ہیں، ہڈیاں بوڑھی ہو چکی ہیں، طاقت نہیں ہے، ہمت نہیں ہے. آج تو اوور 60 جو ہیں وہ بھی ہمت ان کی جواب دے جاتی ہے. اور یہ مرد مجاہد ایسا تھا کہ ان کو تھوڑی دیر کے بعد بھی جب کہا نا کہ حضرت فجر کا وقت ہو گیا ہے یا فلاں نماز کا وقت ہو گیا ہے، تو علامہ صاحب یہ نہیں کیا کرتے تھے کہ جیسے آج کل نوجوان کرتے ہیں کہ پہلے 5-10 منٹ جو ہے وہ اندر وہ تیار ہوں گے، وہ جو ہے تیار ہو کر جو ہے وہ پھر جو ہے آہستہ آہستہ اٹھیں گے. تو حضرت علامہ صاحب کو جب یہ کہہ دیا کہ حضرت نماز کا وقت ہو چکا ہے، فجر کا وقت ہو چکا ہے، تو علامہ صاحب نے جو ہے اول تو حضرت کی یہ پابندی تھی کہ حضرت تہجد کو مس نہیں کیا کرتے تھے، تو اکثر تہجد جو ہے وہ پڑھ کے سو جایا کرتے تھے. یا اکثر اوقات جو ظہر کے وقت اگر آرام فرما رہے ہیں آخری عمر میں، یا عصر کے وقت جو ہے تو جب حضرت کو فرمایا کہ جماعت کے وقت میں اتنا وقت رہ گیا آپ اٹھ جائیے، تو حضرت نے 2 آوازیں دینی ہیں، حد 1 یا 2. حضرت علامہ صاحب نے اسی وقت اٹھ جانا ہے اور اسی وقت اٹھ کے جو ہے وہ وضو فرما لیں گے. تو یہ ان کی زندگی کو دیکھ کر مجھے سب سے زیادہ یہ عبرت حاصل ہوئی ہے کہ جب مجھے کبھی کمزوری ہوتی تھی، کبھی نماز میں، کبھی میں ابھی تھوڑی دیر میں اٹھتا ہوں پڑھتا ہوں، تو فوراً ذہن میں یہ بات آ جایا کرتی تھی کہ وہ بوڑھا جو 90 سال سے اوپر جس کی عمر ہے، جسے ایک آواز دی جاتی ہے تو وہ اسی وقت جو ہے وہ اٹھ کے بیٹھ جایا کرتے ہیں.
اسی پوائنٹ پہ قاری طیب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ انہوں نے بہت امپورٹنٹ ایک لفظ انہوں نے کہا کہ صحابہ کو، آپ نے کہا نا کہ نماز ان کے عبرت سے آپ نے کتنا حاصل کیا، تو انہوں نے کہا کہ صحابہ کو جو نام ہے صحابہ، وہ کہہ رہے تھے کہ ان کا نام علامہ یا شیخ یا محدث نہیں، سب سے اونچا درجہ صحابہ، کمپانین شپ، اس لیے کہ انہوں نے آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. یہ سب سے بڑی کمی ہے آج کل میں کہ نوجوان وغیرہ علماء کے ساتھ دونوں طرف سے یعنی علماء کے ساتھ بیٹھنا، ان اچھی، صرف علماء نہیں، اچھے لوگوں کے ساتھ بیٹھنا، ان سے عبرت حاصل کرنا، یہ سب سے پاورفل وے، سب سے بیسٹ لرننگ. ہیومن اسی طرح بائی ایکشن وہ لرن کرتے ہیں نا. تو اور یہ جو لیسنز ہوتے ہیں یہ پھر زندگی بھر وہ پھر یاد رہتے ہیں.
یہ حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ کی یہ ایک عبادات سے اتنی محبت تھی کہ جسے ہم کیا بیان کر سکتے ہیں کہ کتنے الفاظوں میں ہم بیان کریں، یا ہم الفاظ میں بیان کر ہی نہیں سکتے کہ حضرت کو عبادات سے کتنی محبت تھی. روزے ابھی شروع ہو رہے ہیں تو رمضان سے پہلے ہی حضرت جو ہیں اس چیز کا سب کو کہنا شروع کر دیں گے کہ بھئی رمضان آ رہا ہے، رمضان آ رہا ہے. تو ہم نے علامہ صاحب کے اندر ایک ایسی قوت اور ایک ایسی پاور دیکھی ہے رمضان کے اندر کہ ایک بوڑھا شخص جو ہے وہ تو کہہ سکتا ہے کہ نہیں جی میں بوڑھا ہو چکا ہوں. تو اکثر اوقات ہم کہا بھی کرتے تھے کہ حضرت آپ جو ہے وہ فدیہ وغیرہ دے دیتے ہیں تو آپ جو ہے روزے نہ رکھیں. تو حضرت رحمۃ اللہ فرمایا کرتے تھے کہ نہیں روزے تو میں رکھوں، بلکہ ڈانٹا کرتے تھے کہ میں نے ساری زندگی روزے نہیں چھوڑے.
اور اس بات پر پروف بھی ہے، لوگ انٹرنیٹ پر جا سکتے ہیں، ان کے درس اب آپ دیکھیں گے تو یہ جو پاور آپ کہہ رہے ہیں وہ پھر یعنی.
اور تراویح بھی پوری 20 رکعت تراویح کھڑے ہو کے پڑھنی ہے، اپنے یہ آخری ایام تک حضرت علامہ صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ سجدے کے ساتھ 20 کی 20 تراویح پڑھتے رہے ہیں، 20 کی 20 تراویح پڑھتے رہے ہیں۔ حالانکہ مفتی فیض الرحمان صاحب انہیں کہا کرتے تھے کہ علامہ صاحب کہ آپ جو ہیں بیٹھ کے پڑھ لیں، تراویح ٹھیک ہے آپ پڑھ لیں لیکن بیٹھ کے پڑھ لیں، سجدہ نہ کریں، کمزوری ہو جائے گی، آپ کمزور ہو جائیں گے، ایج کا تقاضا ہے۔ لیکن کہا کرتے تھے کہ نہیں، میں سجدہ نہیں چھوڑ سکتا۔
اور یہ بھی کوئنسیڈنس نہیں ہے کہ ان کا قرآن کے ساتھ کتنا محبت تھا، تو قرآن کی ماہ یا دن اللہ کو جب وہ ریویل ہوا اسی ماہ میں وہ وفات پائے، اور رمضان جسے آپ نے کہا کتنا محبت، اور اللہ نے یہ کوئنسیڈنس نہیں ہوتا ہے۔
قرآن کریم سے تو حضرت کو اتنی محبت تھی، اور ویسے تو وہ شروع سے انہیں محبت تھی ہی، کیونکہ وہ پروردہ تھے حضرت امیر شریعت سید اللہ شاہ صاحب بخاری رحمۃ اللہ علیہ کہ جن کے قرآن کو سنا کرتی تھی دنیا۔ اگر شاہ صاحب ساری رات بھی قرآن پڑھتے رہتے تو دنیا کا دل ہوتا تھا کہ یہ شاہ صاحب ساری رات پڑھتے رہیں قرآن کریم اور ہم سنتے رہیں۔ اتنی اللہ تعالیٰ نے آواز سے اور ان کو جو ہے وہ نوازا تھا۔
اسی وجہ سے وہ حق کے اوپر بہت پابند تھے، اور وہ یعنی کوئی اگر غلط بات کہ تو وہ سیدھا یعنی ان کو امر بالمعروف والنہی عن المنکر، وہ بہت
عقیدہ تحفظ ختم نبوت کے لیے حضرت کی خدمات، عظمت صحابہ کے اوپر حضرت کی خدمات، صحابہ اکرام و اہل بیت کی جو ان کا دفاع اور ان کی خدمات کے اوپر وہ حضرت کی کتب جو ہیں، حضرت کی کثیر التصانیف ہیں، درجنوں کتابیں ہیں، تو جو ہے اس میں انسان دیکھ سکتا ہے
کون سے ٹاپکس پر، سب ٹاپکس پر، تھوڑا بہت حدیث پر بھی
حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ کی جو سب سے پہلے جو ہے آثار التنزیل ہے، 2 والیومز کے اندر 2 جلدیں ہیں،
تو
وہ قرآن کریم کے اوپر ہے۔ پھر حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ کی دوسری کتاب جو ہے وہ آثار الحدیث ہے، تو وہ قرآن کریم کے حدیث مبارکہ کے متعلق جو ہے وہ سارا جو ہے علامہ صاحب نے بڑی بہترین کتاب ہے، جو کئی دفعہ جو ہے دیوبند سے بھی چھپ چکی ہے،
اور وہ ملٹیپل والیومز ہیں نا؟
جی بالکل، دو والیوم۔ اور پھر اس کے بعد آثار التشریح ہے، فقہ کے اوپر جو ہے اس کے تمام ابواب کو جو ہے اس نے اس کتاب کے اندر وہ گھیرا ہوا ہے۔ اس کے بعد آثار الاحسان ہے، آثار الاحسان تصوف کے اوپر، تو وہ بھی ایک بہترین کتاب ہے جو بڑی معروف، اور الحمدللہ حضرت کی ساری کتابیں معروف ہیں،
بہت وہ ان ڈیپتھ، اور وہ جو یعنی جو ٹاپک اور جس چیز پر وہ بات کرتے تھے آپ حیران رہ جاتے تھے کہ سبحان اللہ اتنا ان ڈیپتھ۔
بالکل۔ تو اسی طرح کی کتابوں میں خلفائے راشدین، عظمت صحابہ کرام کے متعلق، اہل بیت کرام کتاب جو ہے، تو اسی طرح مختلف عنوانات کے اوپر، مختلف عقیدہ تحفظ ختم نبوت کے اوپر جو ہے وہ مختلف کتب جو ہیں،
یہ اسی طریقہ یہ لوگوں تھوڑا وہ سمجھ جائے کہ یہ کتنی بڑی یعنی انہوں نے کتنا شخصیت وغیرہ، اچیومنٹ، کتنی بڑی اچیومنٹ، کہ ایسا ہے کہ کسی نے سائنس پر، بایولوجی پر، کیمسٹری پر، فزکس پر، سب سبجیکٹس پر انہوں نے کتاب لکھی ہو۔ کوئی دنیا میں تو اکثر لوگ ایک ہی سبجیکٹ پر وہ پروفیشنل یا وہ اسپیشلسٹ ہوتا ہے، لیکن علامہ صاحب اس لیے تو علامہ سب پر ماشاءاللہ۔ اور میرے خیال میں ایک بڑے علماء تو انہوں نے، اور یہ بھی کچھ چھوٹی بات یعنی سچی بات کہ میرے خیال میں مفتی زرولی رحمۃ اللہ علیہ، مفتی زرولی تھے، انہوں نے کہا تھا کہ سب سے بڑی علمی شخصیت جو آج دنیا میں ہے اس وقت علامہ صاحب ہیں، اور مفتی زرولی تو ماشاءاللہ خود بہت بڑی شخصیت ہے۔
حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ کے تو کتب جو ہیں وہ ان کی شاہد ہیں، گواہ ہیں اس چیز کے، ان کے علمی مرتبے کی۔ حضرت رحمۃ اللہ نے جو عقیدہ تحفظ ختم نبوت کے اوپر پہلی کتاب عقیدۃ الامت جو لکھی تھی، وہ 53 کے اندر چھپی تھی پہلی دفعہ، 1953 کے اندر، اور وہ بھی ہے
کتنا ایج تقریباً ٹینز میں،
نہیں اس وقت حضرت کی تقریباً ایج ہوگی تقریباً نیئرلی 30 ہوگی، یا 30 ایج ہوگی ان کی اس وقت جو ہے۔ تو حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ نے وہ اس وقت امیر شریعت سید اللہ شاہ صاحب بخاری رحمہ اللہ کے کہنے پر، حضرت نے خود اس کے شروع میں لکھا ہوا ہے کہ میں حضرت شاہ صاحب رحمۃ اللہ علیہ کے تعمیل ارشاد ہے یہ جو کتاب ہے، تو یہ اس وقت کی 53۔ اسی طرح حضرت کی کتابیں بہت بہت پرانی ہیں کہ آج کل کے دور میں اتنی لوگوں کی عمر نہیں ہے جتنی حضرت کی کتابیں پرانی ہیں،
بالکل بالکل،
تو مقام حیات اس دور کی ہے۔
शो का टाइम भी नहीं है कितना अभी शो ख़त्म हो रहा है, तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह उनके पैदाइश, बचपन और उनके तसानीफ इंशाल्लाह नेक्स्ट टाइम भी दूसरा शो करेंगे उनके खिदमात पर, और वो उस पर भी सीरीज़ हो सकता है। तो माशाल्लाह आप दोनों की शुक्रिया, बहुत
शुक्रिया,
थैंक यू कि आप आए, आपने अपने टाइम निकाला। बस फ्रॉम माई सेल्फ एंड the sheikhs and the ustads, jazakumullah khair for watching. Please do subscribe to Vook TV, and inshallah we may continue this series, especially with regards to Allama Sahab. We definitely need, because you see these people like Maulana Sahab was saying, you know, just seeing how they live, then you can see what the Quran, when Allah speaks about special people, then it's not as far as you know, sometimes we think when we see real people like this. So inshallah we'll continue the series. Jazakumullah khair for watching Vook TV. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh from myself, and inshallah we'll see you soon. Jazakumullah.
رمضان تجلى وابتسم طوبى للعبد إذا اغتنما.
اللهم إني لك سمت وبك آمنت وعليك توكلت وعلى رزقك أفطرت.
O Allah, for you I have fasted, in you I believe, on you I trust, and with food from you I open my fast.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا الله لا إله إلا الله.
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته.
O Allah, Lord of this perfect call and this prayer to be established, grant Muhammad al-Wasila a high and special place in Jannah and al-Fadila a rank above the rest of creation, and raise him to a praised platform which you have promised him.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
الله 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 الله.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Mahmoud here, and I'd like to invite you to our very special new initiative, WhatsApp Madrasa Group. On this platform, we have all Islamic lessons for all ages and all abilities. And all of this is taught in a very fun and interactive way. Take our superhero course, for example. In 90 seconds, your child, inshallah, will learn how to read, write, and memorize Arabic words. And we haven't missed anyone. It's never too late to learn. Have you always had the desire to memorize the Quran maybe? Or just learn a few surahs? Subhanallah, we will be able to assist you. Just by joining our WhatsApp Madrasa group, you will get short lessons and more detailed lessons for those people who want to learn. And it's never too late to learn. If you've always had the desire to memorize the Quran, or maybe just a portion of the Quran, or you just want to polish up your basics, or just start from scratch, well, joining WhatsApp Madrasa, we will cater for all of your needs. So please do join, text join to the Madrasa, the number which is on your screen, and inshallah we will get back to you very soon. Jazakumullah khair wa ahsanul jaza. Assalamu alaikum.
Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah.
Welcome ladies and gentlemen, this is your host Norman Rashid Khan on your favourite online web channel, Voice of UK TV, also known as VIC TV. And yes, by public demand, I have been requested to do my own show, and it is going to be called Voice on the Street.
A, is this a trick question?
It's a simple question.
Say that again slowly. A?
Where basically we'll be out there in the public taking your views.
Aware of the coronavirus?
Yes.
There's an International Women's March in Pakistan at the moment. Okay. Have you heard about it?
I haven't, no. Educate me.
Okay, brilliant.
On the issues that matter to you, that's exclusively on VIC TV with your own host Norman Rashid Khan on the issues that matter to you.
Hello and welcome to VOC TV. This is Iftar Keel. Please join me on my weekly Arabic show, Eve's Voice, where we will discuss the issues and concerns of contemporary women and everything related to her family, social and professional life. We will also host specialists in these fields to provide the advice that women need, in addition to presenting real success stories that have made positive changes in their lives. That's Iftar Keel on VOC TV, Eve's Voice.
देख रहे हैं आपकी आवाज़ विद वसीम राठौर सिर्फ वोक टीवी पर, जिसमें हम डिस्कस करेंगे आलमी बदलती सियासत और हमारे इर्द गिर्द रोनुमा होने वाले वो वाक़यात जो बराह रास्त हमारी ज़िंदगियों पर असरअंदाज होते हैं। क्या आप इन बदलती सियासत और बदलते हालात में खुद को इतना तैयार कर सकते हैं कि अपना और इर्द गिर्द लोगों का ख्याल रख सके? आपकी आवाज़ हमारे लिए मायने रखती है। हम जानेंगे आपकी राय, इसमें हम आप लोगों की राय लेंगे और जानेंगे कि आप खुद को कितना तैयार समझते हैं। देखते रहिए हमारा प्रोग्राम आपकी आवाज़ सिर्फ और सिर्फ VOC TV पर।
माहे रमजान यूं आ गया, बनके रहमत ये फिर छा गया, कैसे तुझसे करूं सामना।